Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Emma Lefebvre and today we are going to be doing another color matching video. So I actually got a ton of positive feedback from my last color matching video and I thought, you know what? Not only is it an important skill to have when learning how to paint, it's also a lot of fun to do. So I think I'm going to be starting a color matching series where we match random objects from my house. And today I have picked 4 food items from my fridge that we are going to color match. So let's jump right in. Okay, so today we're going to be color matching food items from my fridge. Here I have a shallot, which is a kind of rosy pinkish purple color, which I found really interesting. And here we have an apple, which may just look like it's red, but I feel like there's a little bit more that goes into color mixing with this. This red onion, which I am obsessed with this color. It is stunning, so that's going to be a fun one. And then lastly, some almonds, because I think it's important to learn how to mix browns and different types of browns, and it's also a great little snack while I am painting. So let's get into it. Okay, so here I just have some cheap paper that I'm just going to be swatching on, and then once I get the final color, I'm going to put it on this little card that I could hopefully use as an idea in the future if I want to color match it. So let's begin. Okay. I think I want to start off with this shallot because it's a very interesting color and there's multiple different colors on it. This is more of like an orangey, peachy color, and then here you have this like purpley color, which is really interesting. And for this exercise, I'm only gonna try my best to stick to these 4 paints. If it's not working out, I may use my other ones, but I really want to try to use the most limited palette I can. So let me just run through all the colors before we start. These are all Winsor COTMAN watercolors, so they're student grade, they're affordable, and they're also really great paints. So the colors I have are dioxazine purple, permanent rose, turquoise, ultramarine blue, hooker's green dark, sap green, cadmium yellow. I have a second permanent rose here, so that's a double. Cadmium red deep, which is important to get because cadmium red has an orangier tint to it. I really like this for like a pure red. And then another turquoise color right here. So I want to try and stick to these 4 colors, but I do have some doubles. There are 8 colors. Build up your collection. But if you're looking to start out with like minimal colors, cadmium yellow, permanent rose, cadmium red deep, and turquoise are kind of my go-to. So when you're color mixing, let's just go over the 3 things you need to remember. The first thing you want to do is start off with the base color. So looking at this object, what is the base color? It's kind of like a pinky peach to me. So we'll start off by making a pinky peach color in our mixture. Then you want to look at the color you've mixed and the object. Do you need to make it a bit more vibrant? So lighter or darker? Do you need more pigment or more water? And then lastly, you need to look and see the undertone. So if we have like a pinky peach color, do you see that it needs to be a bit more muted? Do we need to add its contrasting color to mute it? Or does it need to be a bit more vibrant? So let's just jump right in. I also have my color wheel handy for this exercise, which I always suggest you have a color wheel on hand for this. I do have a video on how to make a color wheel, so if you want to check that out, definitely do it. All right. I'm going to try and just put this here. I feel like I'm going to go for more of this color. All right, so pinky peach, right? We have a pink here, which is permanent rose. Okay, and we know that pink isn't the base color. It's more of like a peach. So I'm going to make a peach by mixing yellow and permanent rose. Okay, let's swatch that. Okay. Now, it's actually kind of the same value, so it doesn't need to be any darker or lighter as of now, but I'm seeing a bit more of an orange in it with a bit more of a muted tone. So let's make it a bit more orange first. Okay, let's just swatch that. That's a bit closer. And now I want to mute it down. So remember, if we want to mute a color, we want to get that contrasting color. So we have this like orangey color. Let's look right across the color wheel at its contrasting color, which is blue, and we're gonna add a little bit of blue to our mixture here, just a little bit. Now I'm using turquoise, which has a bit more green to it. You could add ultramarine, but already it's kind of toned it down and made it a bit more muted. Okay, do you see that? That's a bit closer. Okay, but I feel like it needs to be a bit more pigmented. So let's mix everything again, using a bit more paint, more yellow, more pink. Remember, more on the orangey side. And then add that blue to get a bit of, oopsie, maybe a bit too much. Now it's a bit more brown. That's okay. Add more pink, add more yellow. Now it's a bit more saturated. I feel like it could be a bit more on the pink side. Let's add a bit more pink. But it is very close to that. Okay, it actually might be this one. It's hard to kind of see here. So let's add a bit more yellow, make it that peachy color. I think it's that one. So I'm gonna swatch that one. Yeah, I think that's the closest. Now remember with watercolor, if you wanna lighten a color, if you're using acrylic, you would add white. In watercolor, you just add water. So I'm adding a bit of water just to kind of thin out the paint a bit, to make it a little bit lighter. But the more water you add, the lighter it will be. So try not to add too much water. Just make more of the paint mixture if you need to go darker. And that's kind of close. I might add a bit more pink just right there, just to kind of get that. Maybe a bit of blue. To get that purpley color right there. See that? And there you go. There we have made our shallot's color. Okay, so now let's work on our apple. Our apple's base color is red. So let's start by swatching red and see where we need to go from there. Okay, it is similar, right? But it's clearly a bit too bright, right? This has a darker tone to it. So when we want to darken a color, we want to also add its contrasting color, okay? Without losing the vibrancy, just a little bit. So it will mute it a bit, but it will also darken it a bit. So red's contrasting color is green, all right? Now, if you add too much green, it's gonna turn brown. So we gotta be careful with this. Also, I'm sticking to a limited palette right here. So we have to make our green. So let's start by grabbing some cadmium yellow and then some turquoise. And I'm gonna put it more on the bluish side because I feel like this, it's not as light, it's a bit darker and the blue is darker. So I wanna make it just a little bit darker to get that kind of like purpley red color, okay? All right, now I'm going to put my red in my palette and we will slowly start adding that green, okay? See how it's already making it darker? Let's swatch. That's closer. Let's add more green and more red. We know just looking at it, we don't have to go lighter in value. It needs to be darker and more vibrant. That's actually pretty close right there. Maybe a bit more of a red. I actually think that's pretty close too. Let's swatch it here and try. Just want to get a bit more red in there. Okay. Now I feel like the apple is a bit darker, so I'm going to use more paint to make it a darker value. Let's get some more yellow, more blue to make that green. See how it's turning brown when I have more green than red? Grab a bunch more red, more green. Okay, we're just making more of that paint to make it darker. I feel like a bit more blue on the purpley side. A bit more red. But that is fairly close. I feel like it could even be a bit more red. Just slapped red right on there. And there you go. That is, I think, as close as I'm gonna get with watercolor. I feel like, actually, you know what? Let's add a little bit of pink to it. I feel like there's a bit of pink in there. Yeah, that's even closer. Right there. All right. And there you have it. Okay, for our next one, we are going to mix this purple, which is going to be kind of close to this red, but it's a bit more on the purple side. So in order to make purple, we can just take this mix and make it a bit more purple. So we already know that red and blue make purple. Looking at our color wheel, red and blue make purple. A better way to make purple is using pink and blue. Pink is a bit on the cooler side. It just makes a better purple than red. Red has a bit too much yellow in it, which is closer to orange, and orange and blue mixed together, they will create some sort of brown. So I'm gonna just add to this. I'm gonna grab some more pink, grab some blue, excuse me, and we're gonna swatch this purple. Now this is a completely different purple than what we have here. I wonder if I can just take off some of this skin just to show you. Okay, it's a completely different purple. It actually even looks more pink with just the skin. So let's add more pink. And actually let's add some more red too, because I feel like it's on the redder side. Let's swatch that. Okay, that's getting closer. Do we need to go lighter or darker? This is a pretty pigmented color. So we need to kind of keep it the same value. So we don't need to add any water to make it lighter. So I'm going to add a bit more blue, and then I'm going to add some more pink and some more red. I think it's still a bit more on the pinkier side, or on the reddish side. I just keep adding a bit more pink and red. So the blue darkens it, and then I think it's right there. So let's swatch that, and let's make more of the color. So we're just taking turquoise, permanent rose, and then a lot of red. More red. All right. More red. Looks a bit too purpley. And I think that's it. So it's funny looking at these two swatches because they're actually very similar, but they are actually quite different at the same time. I don't know if you can tell. This one is more on the pinky side. It's a bit more vibrant, and this one is a bit more muted. They are slightly different, but similar, if that makes sense. And I wonder if I can match this part right here. I think I need to add a bit more purple. Yeah, let's get it darker. I'm gonna add some more blue. Blue and red. I think that's closer. I want to make it a bit more purple. Hopefully you guys can see this. I feel like I need it more purple, and it's not making it the shade that I want. It might be because my blue is too cool. I might need a warmer blue. So I'm going to go to my palette here, and I'm going to try and add some ultramarine, which is a warmer blue, and see if that helps with the mixture. I think that's a bit better. There we go. So the warmer blue actually really helped that. So if you're looking to get 5 colors, I would say get turquoise as well as ultramarine, cadmium red deep, permanent rose, and cadmium yellow. All right. And now we are going to color match these almonds, which are a brown. So brown is not on our color wheel, but in order to make brown, all you have to do is just mix any 2 contrasting colors. So contrasting colors are the colors that sit across from each other on the color wheel. So they are yellow and purple, orange and blue, and red and green. Okay, so now look at your almonds or whatever brown you have. Which color does it most represent? I kind of see a bit more of a yellowy tone into them, a yellowy orange. So we could even try doing a blue and orange mixture or a yellow and purple mixture. So let's try both and just see where it takes us. So I already have purple here, so I'm going to mix it with yellow to see what color brown I get. Watch this mix like right away. Okay, that's pretty close. I made it a bit more yellow. That's close too. I feel like it is a bit warmer than that. Let's add a tad bit of red. That's close, but I think a bit more yellow. I think that's the closest we're gonna get. Actually, that is very close. That is almost the exact color. Okay, that was a little easier than I thought. Let's just for fun, try to mix blue and orange and see what kind of color we get. So I'm gonna mix it right here. Okay, so to make orange, we need yellow and red because we're using our limited palette. Okay, so there's orange. Now let's get some blue and see what we get. Now this is tricky because the blue that we're using is turquoise. Turquoise is a cooler blue and it has more of a yellow base to it. This blue, the ultramarine, is a warmer blue, so it has more of a purpley bias to it. Turquoise has a bit more of a yellowy green bias. So it's turning this green instead of purple because we have a lot of yellow already in there from the orange, and then this kind of greenish blue. Okay, so this blue might not be the best to mix. Okay, let's try ultramarine. So let's make our orange first and then mix ultramarine and see what that does. And I bet you will get a better brown. There. Okay, do you see how that happened? This one mixed a green because the turquoise has a green bias to it and you're using yellow. So that's kind of 2 things that are making green. This one has a purpley undertone to it. Sorry, this one, which will kind of neutralize it. And if you mix all 3 primary colors, you get either like a shade of brown or gray. So that's why this one turned out more brown and this one turned out more green. So this brown is definitely not it. Looking at it, this has a bit more of a gray tone to it. So let's even just try and add a little bit of yellow, a little bit of red to get that warmer color. Okay, that's closer, but I feel like we could still go lighter with the yellow.
So really, it doesn't matter which mixture you use to get there. We're using the same 3 colors anyway to mix this color. But really, it's about how it makes most sense to you. Do you want to go the orange and blue route mixing together first, or the purple and the yellow? Whatever one speaks to you the most, use it. But either way, both ways are going to get you there eventually once you tweak it a little. So let's swatch and just see and make sure that it looks the same color as the almonds. And I think we've got it.
So there you go. There are the color swatches beside the food items, and I'm actually pretty pleased because I think they are pretty spot on. So there you go. Let me know in the comments below how you think the color matching went. And if you have any suggestions on things for me to color match, also let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram for even more. Have a great day, guys. Bye.